Good afternoon, everyone. It is currently 6:25 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We have a severe thunderstorm warning now in effect with a tornado possible tag. This is for northeastern Wabash County, southwestern Whitley County, as well as southern Kosciuszko counties. And this goes into effect for another 20 minutes here. This storm is near Waiona Lake, moving east at 45 miles per hour, 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. But if you notice here, a little bit of a feature here, a couple different features I want to draw your attention to. So this white blob is our updraft. This is our hail core associated with this thunderstorm. This is where the large hail would be falling, likely quarters in size. But as you notice here on the southern side of the storm near State Road 15, we also have a hook echo starting to form on this supercell. So this thunderstorm is kind of evolved a little bit. It's now becoming a supercell in nature, meaning it has a mesocyclone or a rotating updraft associated with it. We're going to go ahead and switch on our velocity here to show you where that is. Now, this rotation is not incredibly tight, but as you can see here, where the reds and greens are kind of touching right in here near Silver Lake, Indiana, or likely just to the east of Silver Lake there. There you can see the latest scan. It just moved. Notice how they're kind of bowed in a little bit. They're not holding hands quite yet, but they're starting to curve a little bit. So this storm is starting to take in some inflow a little bit, and that broad rotation is starting to form within it. We have greens that go northbound. This is toward the radar, and reds going southbound away from the radar. The radar is up here to the north. But the more you see the greens curve in and the reds protrude out a little bit, that's what we get a couplet. So this will be an area to watch over the next several minutes or so. Notice that hook echo right in there. So it's trying to have a little bit of rotation associated with it. But outside of a tornado threat with this, what a rotating updraft allows a storm to do, whether it produces a tornado or not, it allows it to be longer lived. It's self-sustaining now. So that's going to probably increase the hail risk further down to the south and east towards Whitley County, probably Columbia City and points southward, as well as perhaps northeastern Huntington County. Roanoke, and now we have a tornado warning in effect, so the rotation is tight enough now. We do have a tornado warning. This is radar indicated. Let's go ahead and let me do this here. Here we go. So we have a tornado warning now in effect, so a very skinny tornado warning. This is for northeastern Wabash County and north central Indiana and south central Kosciuszko County, north central Indiana until 7 p.m. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near North Manchester, moving southeast at 45 miles per hour. Hazards tornado and quarter-size hail associated with this thunderstorm. So there's your hook echo right there. So the area of tightest rotation would kind of be right in the middle of this box here. Notice it's a real skinny polygon here. So if you're north of State Road 14, you're likely okay. But if you're in North Manchester and points just to the north, gonna have to keep an eye on this as well. The rotation is not incredibly tight, but we do have some chasers on this storm, and the supercell is surface-based. Just enough to where if any of that rotation does tighten up, it wouldn't take a whole lot for a condensation funnel to work its way down to the ground. We've destabilized enough in the atmosphere. We had some storms move through the area earlier that really stabilized things for a good majority of the afternoon. The sun has since come out. That has allowed the atmosphere to recharge, rebuild its instability across northern Indiana. That's storm fuel needed for which thunderstorms to grow and mature. And this storm has tapped into some of that, and that is allowing it to become severe. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning for areas north of our tornado warning. All areas kind of in this pink here. See the pink here? That's the core of this supercell. That's where your downdraft is associated with this. That's where you're going to see your heaviest rainfall rates, as well as hail, perhaps up to quarter size. And there could even be a few larger stones mixing their way down to the ground, especially where you see the blacks here associated with this. Wouldn't be surprised to see a few stones, maybe up to $1.25. Can't entirely be ruled out. We haven't had any confirmed reports of any stones larger than quarter size. We had some dimes back here off to the west not too long ago, but that was on the north side of the core. But now within the core, quarter size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. So South Whitley and Whitley County, more of a hail risk for you. We're going to have to watch southwest portions of Whitley County for this area of rotation. Could skirt kind of right along near North Manchester. So the area of rotation kind of right in here, just northwest of North Manchester, about 2 to 3 miles northwest of town, just to the west of State Road 13, north of 114, and east of 15. So about 5 miles or so southeast of Silver Lake, and this is moving east southeast at 45 miles per hour. But right where you see kind of the brighter reds here, a little bit of greens, not super tight, but the rotation is there enough for the National Weather Service to say, hey, you know what, it's tight enough. Let's go ahead on the side of caution and issue a tornado warning as the storm is increasing its low level rotation, and we'll go ahead and get that warning out there. So they're giving you some lead time here on this storm. No confirmed tornado at this time, but we do have that rotation possible within it, and there is some broad rotation showing up on radar as well. This storm will be near North Manchester around 6:35. So here in about 4 minutes or so, you can see that area of rotation just on the northwest side of town with the hail core just to the north. So the strongest portion of this storm outside of an area of rotation is actually going to be to the north here, just south of Winona Lake, moving near Pierceton and South Whitley. Going to see eastern or western Whitley County probably going to get 60-mile-per-hour winds as well as quarter-size hail. And the hail sides could go up a little bit as well. You can also have some gusty winds on the south side of the storm as well. Kind of see this tail-looking feature on the south side of the storm. This is an outflow boundary, which is rain-cooled air getting pushed southward, ahead, and out away from the thunderstorm. So even if you're not in the path of the rain, you could still have some gusty winds. Northwestern Wabash County could have some gusty winds as well. This tornado warning does include Wabash County. However, if you're in the town of Wabash, don't worry. You guys are safe, okay? This tornado is not headed to town. Your emergency alert systems likely went off. I don't know if Wabash is in all siren county or not, but if you hear sirens in Wabash, just know you're okay. This tornado supercell is not headed your way at this point in time. Area of rotation just on the north side of North Manchester, coming near Liberty Mills. It's running right along. Looks like let's get you an intersection here to give you the closest area location to this mesocyclone, which would be 1400 north and 100 east. And this would be just to the west of Liberty Mills. So this is going to come very close to Liberty Mills, and it's going to come towards the Tunker and Lincoln area as well as Bracton area. So here's your area of rotation. It's moving right about like this. So if you're near this white line, which would be Bracken, Bippus, Northwest Town, just on the extreme portions of Southwest, Whitley County is extreme portions of northwestern Huntington County. Be on the lookout for this storm. If you're in Whitley County, more of a hail risk associated with this storm, unless you are on the extreme southwest fringes of Whitley County. Like, I don't even think there's a town in this area. But if you're in extreme portions of southwest Whitley County, just know that just know that this area of rotation is moving off to the south and southeast at about 45 miles per hour. Also, a pocket of gusty winds here. No warning on it, though, but you could have some gusty winds. This is near the Busco area, State Road 33, US 33, rather. Could have some gusty winds, 40 to 50 miles per hour up in here near Blue Lake, Tri-Lakes. You can see this appendix here. Almost a little bit of an embedded supercell, kind of on the leading edge there a little bit. You can see a little bit of an inflow notch near Green Center. Could have some RFD or rear flank downdraft, kind of a gust front, straight line winds. No tornado associated with this, but straight line winds could impact Busco, kind of the north side of town near the fire department. I think there's a school or a church up here as well. Could have some gusty winds on the north side of Busco, between Green Center and Busco, near the Edge and Huntertown area, northwest Allen County, heads up for some stronger winds as well. Back down here to the south, so this severe thunderstorm warning still for quarter-size hail. Likely see a downstream warning as long as this storm is still producing quarter-size hail for Whitley County. Huntington County, probably on the next warning. You may be included in a warning for northern Huntington County. Not yet, but we're going to have to keep an eye on that as the storm could impact northern Huntington County, especially the area of rotation here is moving pretty close to the northwest Huntington County. So like Bippus and points north. I'm going to have to watch this. And notice here, IWX is on rapid scans here. So we're getting pretty quick updates here. So the rotation is still a little bit broad, but you see a really nice hook echo here directly over Liberty Mills or just to the south along State Road 14. Right in here is the area of rotation between North Manchester and Liberty Mills. This is moving off to the east-southeast at 45 miles per hour and maybe going a little bit faster than that as well. This supercell seemed to have picked up a little bit of speed as it is moving off to the east and southeast. So do keep that in mind as well. I don't see any evidence of a tornado on the ground. I do have a couple different radars that we are using here behind the scenes. But also, I want to take your mind that on the south side of this hook echo here, right in here, likely going to have some what we call RFD, rear flank downdraft. That's the exhaust system of a supercell where you have rain cooled air that is wrapped down and around by the mesocyclone. So your mesocyclone is your rotating updraft. That's the updraft of the storm where the fuel and instability is ingested by the storm and picked up by the storm. In sheared environments, it's tilted. That's what makes a supercell, that tilted rotating updraft. When that rotation occurs, it can pull down rain-cooled air and it can create a gust front on the south side of your area of rotation, and that's called rear flank downdrift because it occurs on the rear flank of the storm, right? Simple, right? And you can see that here on the south side of our radar here. You can see that RFD wrap around towards North Manchester. So likely getting into some gusty winds on the back side of the area of rotation as well. So do keep that in mind as well. If you're on the south side of the storm, straight line winds are possible as well. I don't see any evidence that a tornado is on the ground. It has a healthy hook echo associated with it on radar. Looking at, bear with me here. I'm just looking at a couple different radar products here behind the scenes. Looking at a couple different things here within this storm, but there are currently have no indications that a tornado is on the ground or anything like that, but there is some broad rotation there. We do have a new downstream severe thunderstorm warning, and this does include northern Wells County, southwestern Allen County, central southern Whitley County, as well as northern Huntington County. And this is until 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So this storm is picking up speed just a little bit, moving east now at 50 miles per hour. Hazard 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail, as well as a possible tornado with this storm as well. So that broad rotation still continuing. You can see that hook echo right in here. That's where our tornado warning currently is. No tornado warning for Huntington County at this time, but a broad area of rotation just to the east of North Manchester. It is broad at this point in time. There's no indication that a tornado is currently on the ground. I hope we don't see that. But the rotation is there. So one could form fairly quickly. Tornadoes can form quickly from severe thunderstorms, especially rotating severe thunderstorms. So it's always good if you're in this orange box here. If you're in northern Huntington County, southern Whitley County, if you're in central and northern Whitley County, north of State Road 14, likely going to see more hail and heavy rain out of this versus a tornado threat. The tornado threat is going to be on the south side of this storm. If I draw it out here for you, so our area of rotation right in here on the left side of your screen, this is going to track towards the Roanoke area and maybe a Boyd as well. Going to have to watch that. So northern Huntington County and severe southern Whitley County. But if you're in the northern part of this storm, let's say central Whitley County and areas to the north, you're going to have to watch out for this hail core right in here. This is where the downdraft of the severe thunderstorm is. Likely going to have some straight line winds as well as quarter-size hail possible in the core of the storm. So kind of a two-part system here. Supercell thunderstorms are often two-part storms. And on the storm we talked about up near the Busco area, now under a severe thunderstorm warning, quarter-size hail as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. See that gust front near the edge area. This is just south of Avila, moving towards the Garrett, Auburn area. Leo, Cedarville, not in a severe thunderstorm warning yet. You're kind of caught in between these two warnings here, but we're going to have to watch the central portion of this line to make sure it doesn't gust out. It is behaving itself, but there could be some gusty winds in the middle of this line as well. You can kind of see the gust front stretched out right where you see the reds on your screen here, but you can see pockets of some stronger winds associated with our storm system here, kind of merging, kind of two embedded storms, but they're kind of embedded within a complex now, with our southern supercell and kind of a northern supercell a little bit as well. However, this supercell up here to the north has a hook echo on radar, but that low level rotation is not there. So I don't see a tornado risk with this storm at this time. Damaging winds, quarter-size hail associated with that. This storm is currently moving off to the south and southeast at 50 miles per hour. At 6:36 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, severe thunderstorm was located near South Whitley, or 8 miles northeast of North Manchester. And there's our new tornado warning. And this does include Wells, Whitley, and Huntington County. Just know, if you're in Bluffton or Ossian, Wells County, I think, is an all-siren county. Just know that if you're in Bluffton, Indiana, no tornado. You guys are safe. This tornado is not headed towards Bluffton or downtown Huntington. It looks to stay north of your location. Huntington, gonna have to keep an eye on you to make sure it doesn't shift south. But for right now, it is going to stay north of those locations. This tornado warning is radar indicated, is in effect also until 7:15 Eastern Daylight Time. This is moving southeast at 45 miles per hour. Area of rotation situated right in here on the kind of the Whitley, Huntington, and Wabash County line, right in between those three counties is where we're talking. So extreme portions of northwestern Huntington County, southwestern Whitley County. However, on velocity, the strongest area of rotation is going to go south of Whitley County. It is moving south of Whitley County. So Whitley County, severe portions of southwest Whitley County is under a tornado warning until 7:15. The area of rotation is going to be moving off to the south and east away from Whitley County. And same thing goes for northeast Wabash County. This is going to be moving into northern Huntington County near the Bippus area and north of Huntington. So State Road 9, State Road 5, south of State Road 114 is where this area of rotation is tracking. Notice there how we have a little bit more of a couplet. We have the reds and greens kind of curved in a little bit. If you hold your hands kind of like this, that's kind of what we're talking about here. The same concept goes for a rail car on a train that hooks the cars together, that couplet. The same thing goes here in weather. The reds and greens are holding hands a little bit. That's your area of rotation near the Bracken area. It's going to come near the Macon area in Huntington County, Goebbelsville, the Village, Northwest Town, and Bippus. Downtown Huntington appears to be okay at this present time. This storm is moving off to the south and east at 45 miles per hour. If you're in the Bluffton area, I don't know if sirens are sounding or not. You guys are okay at this point in time. The storm does not look to directly impact the Bluffton area or Huntington or Lancaster area. This is going to go north of you. Fort Wayne, Indiana. I have a lot of people in here from Fort Wayne. Allen County, currently not in the path of this area of rotation. It does look to skirt south of Allen County, but we're going to have to keep an eye on it near the Roanoke and Aboit areas and southwest portions of Allen County. Going to have to keep an eye on this area here as it tracks over the next 10 to 15 minutes here. Downtown Fort Wayne under a severe thunderstorm warning. Quarter-size hail, tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds. And this is for the core of the storm here. If I turn on VIL, which is our vertical integrated liquid that basically shows us where updraft is and where it's most intense at, right in here, right where you see the pinks at. This is the core of the updraft, kind of right in here where you see the pinks on reflectivity where the rain is. So this is our updraft and this is our rain, not to get the two confused. There it shifted a little bit. Right where you see the blacks is where the core of the storm is. Could even have a few larger stones mixing down near South Whitley, quarter size, and maybe a few larger stones. Can't be ruled out. You can see that updraft intensification right in there on VIL. So a very narrow hail core here associated with our supercell. However, there could be a few, about a 2 to 3 mile stretch here where you could have some stones of 1.25 inches perhaps coming down to the ground. Not a very wide stretch, but it's near State Road 14, near the South Whitley and Tunker areas. Could have some large hail coming down as well. So Fort Wayne, Indiana, I think the tornado risk is relatively low for downtown Fort Wayne. Gonna have to watch extreme portions of southwest Allen County. Think south of the GM plan, right? So if you're in Fort Wayne, you know where the GM plan is, where the 469, I-69 interchange is. Think GM plant and south. I think that area has a better chance for seeing that area of rotation move over versus downtown Fort Wayne. However, you're not out of the woods in downtown Fort Wayne. The storm, the core of the storm is going to come pretty close. We'll see how it holds together and we'll see how it trends, but I would plan for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, as well as torrential rainfall. Torrential rainfall is also occurring with this storm that can cause a lot of ponding. Look at this heavy rain near US 30 at 6:45 p.m. We all know how rush hour can be on US 30 between Columbia City and Fort Wayne. So just be on alert for ponding and slow down if need be. We don't need any hydroplaning on US 30. It's busy enough as it is without getting some accidents in there. So do take your time. It's probably slow going between Columbia City and Fort Wayne, just as a heads up for your evening commute. This storm is currently moving off to the south and southeast at 45 to 50 miles per hour. We're going to turn back our velocity on. So the good news is the area of rotation has broadened out a little bit. It might be cycling. It might be going through a cycling phase with this storm. Area of rotation kind of right in here, north of the Bippus area and northern Huntington County, kind of right in there, south of State Road 114. So it is completely in Huntington County now for the area of rotation. However, it's very broad. It's a lot weaker than what we saw just a few minutes ago, which is good. Hopefully, that weakening trend continues. We don't want to see those reds and greens becoming brighter. And most importantly, we don't want to see them holding hands. When we see them holding hands, that's never a good thing to see. But right now, they're not holding hands as tightly as what they were a few minutes ago. And it was never really truly super tight, but it was tight enough to where a tornado warning was issued by them. The storm is moving towards the Fort Wayne area as well. You see some gusty winds near the Columbia City area, US 30, right in there, right where you see those brighter pinks. This is moving off to the east at about 45 miles per hour, 50. So northwestern Allen County could have some gusty winds coming in here as well. And also seeing some winds pick up coming into the Cedarville area as well. Coming near Leo, Cedarville could have some gusty winds picking up for you as well. Up here to our north, our northern cell, just the baseline severe thunderstorm warning for Auburn with the strongest winds just to the south of town. This is 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. Strongest core right in here, kind of the southern end of the warning box here, coming up to I-69. You can see that gust front right in there, right where you see those brighter pinks, right where the X is. This is going to come near the Huntertown area, getting impacted right now by some gusty winds, as well as the Garrett and Auburn area. Garrett should be lightening up here pretty soon. You can see the strongest winds just off to your east. Cedarville, Leo area, Auburn could see some winds pick up here in the next few minutes. Northern Allen County also getting in on some straight line winds here. Winds up to 60 miles per hour, as well as quarter size hail and a tornado possible. Looking along this line, though, sorry for zooming in like that. Tornado warning radar indicated is in effect until 7:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Northern Huntington County and extreme portions of northwestern Wells County. Does not include the Markle area, but it does include the Zanesville area, it looks like. So extreme portions of northwestern Wells and northern Huntington County. Just know if you're in Wells County, you have some time to watch this, right? Now's a good time to, maybe think about your severe weather action plans just in case the storm does intensify as it moves in your direction. But right now, what we're looking at here is actually some good news in terms of tornadoes, right? Look at their velocity here. See how they're parallel to each other and they're not holding hands as tight. Now, there is a couple kinks in here that we're going to have to watch. Both of those are near the Huntington County line. However, they're not holding hands as tight as what we just saw. As I go ahead and play this back, you can see what I mean here. Right back by North Manchester, you can really see that couplet where they were holding hands a little bit more, right where those greens were curved in a little bit and the reds were protruding out a little bit. But now as we moved into Huntington County, you can see those lines, how they're more perpendicular to each other. They're zonal. You have winds moving past each other. Winds, you have northbounds and southbounds, but they're not rotating as much. So the spin has kind of broadened out a little bit, which is good. But we're going to have to keep an eye on this as the storm could re-intensify. But for right now, the rotation has weakened quite a bit, more of a straight line wind risk here. But the tornado warning is still in effect. So do take this seriously as it could re-intensify. And there could be some rotation in the low levels that maybe radar is just not quite picking up on all the way. And perhaps maybe just a little bit near the Macon area, Northwest Town, and the Village. You can see a little kink in the line right in there. So that's something to watch. Is it extremely tight? No. But it could be perhaps maybe some broad rotation within there. So something to keep an eye on as well. Ossian, Indiana, tornado siren going off for 5 minutes solid. Yeah, I believe Bluffton's are going off too. Yeah, that was my fear. I thought Wells County was an all siren county, meaning when a tornado warning is issued, no matter where it is in the county, sirens are going to go off. So from my Bluffton friends, just know you're right here. The area of rotation is right here. Likely going to go closer to Ossian than it is Bluffton. However, friends at Ossian, right? Ossians, right? As I like to call them. Just know that you guys are probably, on the very edge of the warning. So keep an eye on this, but the area of rotation right now is not overly impressive. it has broadened out. So it is good news, but don't brush it off yet. So keep an eye on this. The area of rotation right now. Miles per hour. And it looks like we have Steven in here. He's one of our chasers here. Steven, what do you see where you're at? I hear him, but I don't know if he can hear me. Okay, well, we'll mute Steven, and maybe if he hears us, he'll come back. But for right now, this storm is kind of transitioning into more of a line. So the tornado threat, I know sirens are going off all over Wells County, but Wells County, just know that you guys are okay for now, but we're going to have to keep an eye on this storm here a little bit later. There is a tornado warning for extreme portions of northwestern Wells County. But for right now, Wells County, you're okay right now. Keep an eye on this storm, but you guys are okay at this point in time. The rotation has broadened out quite a bit, and it looks a lot less impressive than what it did a few minutes ago. It was never impressive enough to me to really think there was something that was going to be on the ground right now, but it was tight enough to where a brief tornado could perhaps spin up, if that makes sense. This storm is currently moving off to the south and southeast at 50 miles per hour. Quarter-size hail as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds, but we're kind of seeing a transition here. This storm was an isolated supercell, but we're kind of congealing or growing upscale a little bit into a complex. So I think we're going to see a transition here into more of a damaging wind risk versus a tornado risk. Now, could little kinks in the line develop? Yeah, absolutely. We could see a few kinks in the line, those little pockets of rotation, not out of the question. But long-lived supercells and tornadoes not expected here tonight across Indiana. Strongest winds, though, look to be on the Auburn cell here, northern Allen County and southern DeKalb County. Go ahead and still warned for 60 and quarter. You can see the strongest straight line winds just cross I-69, stretching from about northern Fort Wayne, think Lima Road, I-69, all the way up to southern DeKalb County, southwest of Concord. A nice bow echo here associated with the storm. There's likely a really big shelf cloud associated with this. If you're in the Summit City here, likely seeing that as well. If you're near the Glenbrook area or on Coliseum looking northwest, skies are probably looking pretty dark if you're in that side of town. This is moving southeast at about 50 miles per hour. But the strongest winds going to come pretty close to the Lima Road, crossing Coliseum and I-69 right now, where that gust front is. Coming up on Lima in 69 as well. And so if you know where that area is on the north side of Fort Wayne, that's where the gust front is right now. And that's moving south and southeast at about 50 miles per hour. So Fort Wayne, more of a straight line wind risk at this point in time. There could be some hail embedded in it. Let's go ahead and turn on our hail tracker here just to take a look at that here for the Circle City. So hail, not a super big concern. If you're in kind of the northwest side of town, think right in here. So this is going to come, this is right here at US 30, coming near the Coliseum as well as US 30, those interchanges right in there, as well as Lima Road and Coliseum. You could have maybe some pea-size hail up to about nickels, perhaps, in this section of the storm. The most intense portion of the storm back in here, south of Columbia City, is where you could have some quarters. Just south of Columbia City, where you see the pinks there, that's the strongest portion of this updraft, and that's where you could see some quarters. New severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible, quarter-size hail, as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. So the warning is unchanged. They're just issuing it downstream, now including northern Adams County getting in on this as well. Decatur, Monroeville not included in this severe thunderstorm warning at this point in time. The storm is moving off to the southeast at 40 miles per hour, 40 to 50 miles per hour. Kind of a couple different portions of the line here. Tornado warning still in effect for 21 more minutes here. Go ahead and turn back on our rotation, and we'll take a look at that. Not super impressive on the rotation side of things. So that is good news. More of a straight line wind risk. Notice how our winds are moving parallel to each other. Greens go towards the radar. Reds go away from the radar. And we don't see them holding hands at this point in time. They're running next to each other. So as long as we don't see them holding hands, that's a good thing. However, could have some straight line winds along this as well. And there could be some embedded circulations near the surface. So maybe a brief spin up tornado can't be ruled out. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But in terms of any significant rotation near the surface, I don't see it at this point in time. Tornado warning remains in effect for radar indicated rotation and quarter-size hail. So out of an abundance of caution, they are leaving this in place. However, the good news is The rotation is quite broad in nature, maybe a little bit there north of Huntington, where that little bit of a kink is, just west of Roanoke, kind of right in there. Notice that little bit of a kink, right there. Is it very strong? No. But if I had to take a shot at where that area of rotation would be, that's kind of where it would be, just on the north side of US 24, west of State Road 9, north of Huntington. But it is quite broad in nature. Just know that. More of a straight line wind risk at this point in time associated with this entire line as it moves off to the west or to the east at 50 miles per hour. Strong pockets of embedded strong winds here, up to 60 miles per hour associated with this. We could have embedded pockets up to 60. That's what these warnings are for. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail, as well as a tornado possible. And actually, I have a tornado possible tag now on the northern Allen County and DeKalb County. So right in here, a little bit of a kink. Perhaps maybe right in here, west of State Road 1. Go ahead and hit play back here, see if I can see the feature that they're talking about here. Kind of hard to see a definitive feature on this, but you can kind of see your bird wing feature here. So it is a supercell in nature, but they could have some embedded circulations along the leading edge of that storm as well. So something to keep an eye on if you're in the Lee or Cedarville areas just to the north could have a spin up tornado possible, as well as that possibility of some straight line winds up to 60 miles per hour. And we have Parker in here. Go ahead and take him full here. Let me do this here real quick. Let me bring him up here. Here we go. So Parker's one of our chasers here, and he's live in the field. Parker, if you can hear me, let us know where you're at and what section of the storm you're looking at.
I just currently passed. I'm going to come up on State Road 5 here, just south of Huntington. I'm currently heading east. I've got a view of the rotation. I would kind of loosely say rotation here. I mean, I've had a couple instances of a wall cloud kind of embedded along this kind of shear line on the supercell here. I've had a couple attempts of a wall cloud developing, but right now it's looking mostly outflow dominant. Beautiful shelf cloud here. The storm is racing pretty fast. I'm still out ahead right now. Like I mentioned, just a couple times where it tries to maybe get some rotation somewhere, but there's not really any tight rotation right now. But this storm at any moment could tighten up again and attempt to produce right now.
Sounds good. Well, thanks, Parker. Keep an eye on it and keep us updated if you see anything else. Appreciate it. So, Parker. Whoa, what is going on? I am sorry. Let me go back to... Hey, there we go. We're back. So Parker's currently in Huntington County near State Road 5. So he's looking at this section right in here in the tornado warning itself. So a couple things to pick out here from Parker. He mentioned a shear line and outflow dominant. What does that mean exactly? Does that mean tornado or straight line winds? Essentially, what he's referring to is a gust front along the leading edge. And he's noticed a couple instances where maybe a wall cloud has tried to form, which not surprising to hear that. There's a couple little kinks in the line. However, it did look more outflow dominant on his screen, meaning the storm is gusting out. We're transitioning from a tornadic threat into a straight line wind threat based on what Parker is seeing on the ground, which is good news. I know our friends in Wells County are chatting in saying, are we going to be safe? Sirens are still blaring. Okay, between you and me, I'm not a fan of all siren counties, all warning counties for this reason. You have a tornado warning that touches a county and the entire county sounds off sirens, which could freak a lot of people out who are not even in the path of the storm. So I'm not a big fan of all siren counties, but some counties are that way. But if you're in Ossian, Bluffton, Indiana, especially, I know sirens are going off. You're okay. You're not even in a severe thunderstorm warning. In Bluffton, Ossian, you're in a severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible, quarter-size hail. Ossian is not in a tornado warning, just to be fair. So Ossian, you're in a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning. Your sirens are going off because Wells County is an all-siren county. So just know that. But looking at the area of rotation, that doesn't mean disregard the storm, okay? Just because we're in a severe thunderstorm warning and not a tornado warning does not mean the hazard is nil. Just know that. Always take these warnings seriously. We have a tornado possible tag on this severe thunderstorm warning for those embedded areas of rotation within the leading edge of the line. But this is looking more gusty in nature versus an immediate tornado threat. I want to draw your attention to northern Allen County, southern DeKalb County. We could see a warning upgrade here for winds. This is a very strong pocket of winds. Probably the strongest portion of this line is in the DeKalb Allen County line, northwest of Leo Cedarville, south of Concord. Could have some really strong winds. This is crossing State Road 1 and is moving towards the Hicksville, Ohio, and perhaps Antwerp, Ohio. Yeah, big pocket of straight line winds here associated with this, likely perhaps over 60 miles per hour. So if you're in Hicksville, Ohio, near the Indiana, Ohio border, so this is northern Paulding County, as well as Defiance County, as well as Allen, DeKalb County. So kind of right in the four corners here between Allen County, DeKalb County, Defiance County, and Paulding County, Ohio. Northwest portions of Paulding County, southwest Defiance County, extreme portions of northeastern Allen County, and southeastern DeKalb County. Very strong winds here associated with this supercell. Quarter-size hail also falling here, so we can have some wind-driven hail. This is showing signs close to 70 miles per hour. A few thousand feet off, a couple thousand feet off the ground, we have winds over 70 miles per hour in this location here, based on what I'm seeing here behind the scenes. So wouldn't be surprised to see a few wind gusts, perhaps up to 70, mix their way down to the ground. If you're in northeastern Allen County and near the DeKalb County line, southwest or east of State Road 1, crossing State Road 37. So this is extreme portions of northeastern Allen County, moving towards Hicksville, Ohio, as well. It's kind of going to split between Antwerp, Ohio, and Hicksville, Ohio on the Defiance Paulding County line, but the strongest winds currently in northeast Allen County. A nice pocket of straight line winds there as well. Getting gusty in the Circle City. Gust front coming through. The strongest winds on the north side of town, kind of phasing out just a little bit on the south side of town. As we kind of have two different segments of the storm. We have a northern section and a southern section. The southern section appears to be weakening, which is good news for our friends in Wells County and northern Huntington County. Wells County may not see much rain from this, if I'm being honest with you. This storm is weakened quite a bit to the point where the area of rotation that is really no more. I don't see a lot of rotation associated with it, maybe a little bit near the Aboit area south of Roanoke, but this is going to move into southwestern Allen County versus Wells County. So if you're in Huntington or Ossian and Bluffton, have been hearing the sirens for about an hour now, I think you guys are going to be pretty much okay. I think the storm is going to go north of you, so you guys likely see this warning trim just a little bit. The storm is kind of pulling north a little bit as well, so that's good news. If you're in the Ossian and Bluffton areas where the tornado sirens have been going off, just know that the storm does look to go north of you guys at this point in time. New warning now. 60 mile per hour winds, penny size hail. There's your nice pocket there. Again, wouldn't be surprised if you guessed a little bit stronger than 60 mile per hour. Nice gust front, embedded apex there in this kind of embedded supercell there on the leading edge of this line. This is going to be moving northeast Allen County. It's going to be moving into the Defiance, Paulding County, Ohio areas here momentarily, right on state line. Notice we're on rapid scan here. You have very strong winds. Where you see these orange here, that's close to 70 miles per hour, now coming pretty close to the Indiana-Ohio state line. So if you're near Hall's Corner, Georgetown, anybody watching there, probably got really windy there. Just know things should be improving here momentarily. But these are likely some winds up to 70 miles per hour right in there. Embedded pockets. Likely going to see 60 mile per hour winds within this, but there could be some pockets of 60 plus right in there. Just a few hundred feet above the ground as well. So do keep that in mind. Likely some stronger winds, perhaps mixing their way down to the ground. Back down to the Fort Wayne area, Circle City. Heavy rain right now falling across town. Watch out for ponding and viaducts or low areas as well. We have kind of early spring drains, so there could still be some winter debris. I don't know how well street cleaners have been out this early in the season. So during heavy rain events, do watch out for ponding. It is we're kind of past rush hour now, but evening traffic can still kind of linger across Fort Wayne, as you guys know. So there could still be some heavy traffic, some slow traffic, especially on I-69, US 30, Coliseum. All of these areas could be experiencing some slow traffic, heavy rainfall, and some ponding. Our tornado warning has been canceled we are down to a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on it. So that is some good news. We're back to a baseline severe thunderstorm warning. So the tornado warning is no longer in effect. You can rest easy, Wells County, right? I know your sirens have been blaring off the hook. Just know, I think you guys are going to be all right. This storm is moving north of the county. It is trending to stay in Allen County. So you guys should be okay if you're in the Austin area, Bluffton area especially, should be okay. This storm is trending north of your location. Strongest section of this storm, there's kind of two sections with this. The first one is in northeastern Allen County near the DeKalb County, Allen County line, moving into the Hicksville, Ohio, as well as Antwerp, Ohio. So northwestern Paulding County, southwest Defiance County, southeast DeKalb County, and northeast Allen County. Notice here, though, a little bit of a hook echo actually showing up on reflectivity here, right here. Well, it's gone now. So straight line, more of a bow echo here as well. So straight line winds now racing into Ohio, coming up to State Road 49. So if you have any friends northwestern Ohio, north of Payne near Antwerp and Hicksville, north of 24, especially where the strongest winds are, look how strong that is. Likely some 70-mile-per-hour winds, perhaps mixing their way down to the ground. The warning is for 60, so I think we're almost guaranteed to see 60-mile-per-hour winds here near Hicksville, Ohio. Just know the radar beam is a little bit higher here, so we're sampling the storm a little bit higher as well. So with that in mind, 60-mile-per-hour winds, I think, are almost a guarantee mixing down to the ground south of the Hicksville area where the orange is, but there could be a few gusts, perhaps a little bit stronger, perhaps mixing their way down to the ground as well. Back to Fort Wayne, Indiana, gusty winds moving their way through town. This storm has weakened a little bit as well. So that is some good news. If we go ahead and turn back on our hail tracker here, just to see how our updrafts are doing, a lot weaker than where we were a few minutes ago. You can see the trend there a little bit. We're not seeing the purples and especially the blacks anymore on the right side of your screen. This is where our updraft is currently with this. So we're not seeing that, which is good. But we could still see maybe some P's to perhaps nickel-size hail. But widespread quarters seems to be a lessening threat and more of a damaging wind risk taking over as the primary risk. But we do have some storms behind here near the Warsaw area, Rochester area. Could have maybe some pea-size hail, heavy rain, some gusty winds with those. Sub-severe at this point in time. If we go back to our velocity here to look at our winds associated with this, go ahead and turn that back here. Here we go. Strongest winds currently in northwest Ohio. Defiance County, Paulding County line, moving along in north of US 24. So if you have any friends in northwest Ohio, especially near the Hicksville area, north of Antwerp, just know some very strong winds associated with this Boeing segment here, north and east of Woodburn, Indiana. This is moving off to the east. The warning has it moving east at 60 miles per hour. I would say that's fair. A lot of times when you get these intense Boeing segments, those protrusions do have some faster forward motions than their neighboring cells. So just know that this portion of the line is moving a little bit faster. Allen County, more of a rain risk at this point in time. Could have some gusty winds on the west side of town, crossing I-69 near the 24. So this is Jefferson, the Jefferson exit here on the southwest side of town, getting in on some gusty winds and some heavy rain, and then should be clearing out here for you guys as this storm, gusty winds coming near the Jefferson Point area, Waynedale, and coming close to downtown Fort Wayne here. Could have some gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour. I think we're a little bit shy of 60, but we're close. We could have some 60 mile per hour winds mixing in at times in Fort Wayne, as well as some small hail. I don't think we're going to see quarters out of this. I haven't seen any reports of quarters. We are warned for quarters, though, so it can't be ruled out. Based on at least radar that I have here behind the scenes, looks like between P and nickel size hail, perhaps falling within the Fort Wayne area. If anybody watching from Fort Wayne, I know we have a lot of viewers from Fort Wayne. Let me know what you guys are seeing from the Circle City. Would love to know what you guys are seeing, where you were at. And just across northern Indiana, let me know what you guys are seeing here. Looking across the region here, outside of our severe thunderstorm warnings, the main risk for severe weather here this evening is going to be northern Indiana, kind of right in here is where we're watching. I think we'll see these showers and storms progress southward towards Indianapolis, Terre Haute, Bloomington overnight tonight into tomorrow. However, the severe weather risk is very, very low at this point in time because we're getting ready to lose the sunlight. Our daytime heating is getting ready to go away, and our surface instability will be waning as well. So we're going to lose our energy needed to support severe weather as well. And just a very impressive return near the Paulding County, Hicksville, Ohio, Defiance County, right in there, right in here, likely seeing winds of 70 miles per hour plus right along US 24. This is the strongest portion county. If you know anybody in Defiance, just know we're likely going to have some really strong winds. Actually, there's our tornado warning. Radar indicated as well. This is for Ohio, mind you, not Indiana. But we'll go ahead and cover it here as these storms are on the Indiana-Ohio border. We know we have some Ohio people watching. This tornado warnings for central Defiance County, northern Paulding County till 7:45. Hazard tornado radar indicated rotation, as well as penny-size hail. So there could be kind of where they're looking is just north of or just east of the Hicksville area on the north side of this gust front here. So this shear line, where you have intense straight line winds protruding out ahead of the storm, they're a little bit slower on the north side. So that can create an eddy, what we call a mesovortice, which is a fancy word for an eddy or a swirl in the low levels. And that can create a brief spin up tornado. So if you're in northern Paulding County or southern Defiance County, have any friends in Northwest Ohio, just know they have a very, let's just say, a storm with an attitude moving in their direction, which could be quite significant, especially in the straight line wind department, if not a possible brief tornado on the north side of the straight line winds. But could have some winds perhaps up to 70 miles per hour up there. The warning is for 60, but personally, I wouldn't be surprised to see some stronger winds mixing their way down to the ground. Lightning is bad downtown Fort Wayne. Yeah. A lot of lightning strikes, though we're losing some of our lightning associated with this storm as it moves into southeastern portions of Allen County towards the New Haven area, Fort Wayne International Airport, seeing a downpour right now. Maybe some gusty winds. The strongest winds personally near the Monroeville and along the US 30 corridor and north. Kind of right in here is where we're seeing some of the stronger winds. A little bit of a gust front coming into downtown Fort Wayne, stretching from about Coliseum down to the Fort Wayne International Airport on the backside of these storms here. Tornado possible, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Just know, though, I really don't see anything at all in the way of rotation for this storm. If you're in northern Wells County, Adams County, Allen County, based on radar right now, I don't see anything tornadic at this point in time within this storm, which is good. We have had signs of that in the past, but at the present time, I currently don't see any rotation that would signify an imminent tornado by any means of the imagination at this point in time, which is good. Our severe thunderstorm warning has been trimmed out of Indiana for the DeKalb County, northeastern Allen County. But our tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning does continue for Paulding and Defiance County, Ohio. Defiance and Hicksville currently under a tornado warning. Area of rotation would be near State Road 18 in Ohio, near Marks Center, moving towards the Sherwood area north of US 24, kind of on the north side of our Bow Echo, likely an embedded rain wrap circulation up there as well. Also, maybe a little bit of rotation coming near the Payne, Ohio area right in here. A little bit of a couplet there, a little bit of a notch on the leading edge as well. Just crossing the Indiana state line, coming north of, Indiana or Ohio 500 here and 613. Could have a little bit of rotation there as well. But currently, storms behind these storms are behaving themselves. Currently, could have some gusty winds, small hail associated with them. However, the hope is that this main cluster of storms has gobbled up any instability that was able to rebuild this afternoon after our main line went through. That is our hope. But we are likely going to see some additional showers and thunderstorms throughout the course of the evening. But I think our severe weather chances will go down, especially after the sun goes down and we lose our daytime heating. That's been the main driver for this. And speaking of severe weather, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor of our severe weather coverage, Rooker's Outdoor Services, based in the Indianapolis area. If you have any tree damage or have any trees you just want to get cut down before the next storm rolls in, trees can be a hazard to life and property during severe weather. And if you have one that makes you nervous, give them a call. 317-665-3969, rookersoutdoorservices.com. Thank you for them for allowing us to go live here this afternoon and this evening to cover our severe weather here. across the state of Indiana. Severe thunderstorm watch is in effect for northern Indiana. Our severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until, let me get it pulled up here for you, for 4 hours and 44 minutes or until midnight tonight, Eastern Daylight Time. And that is for areas from LaPorte, Indiana, all the way down to Lafayette and areas east under that severe thunderstorm watch. So this zone right in here does not include Kokomo, but areas right in here under that severe thunderstorm watch. And right on cue, that couplet that we were talking about near Payne, Ohio, has gone under a tornado warning. This is what we call mesovortices, those little surface eddies that develop along the leading edge of a severe thunderstorm. Those are called mesovortices, and they can form very quickly from multi-clusters or storm clusters as you have a lot of wind shear ahead of this line. And sometimes they can wrap in or kink up, and you can get that embedded circulation in the low levels. Good news is typically they're short-lived in duration, but they can spin up very quickly, as this one did as well. This does include just Paulding County, Ohio, does not include Indiana. Currently, we're down to one severe thunderstorm warning, baseline severe thunderstorm warning here in Indiana. Wells County looked to be okay on this one. I know your storm sirens were blaring for a while. Saw a lot of comments on that. Hopefully they've stopped. If anybody's still watching from Wells County, let me know if your sirens have stopped. If they haven't yet, just know this storm is not showing any signs of rotation, and it is going to your north. So you should, most of Wells County will not see much in the way of measurable rain with this storm. The storm has shifted to the north, which is good. And it's also weakening as it does so well as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see this warning expired or canceled early if these trends continue, which is good. It's what we want to see. Have some backline storms here on the backside of this. Currently, they are behaving themselves, but we also have a temperature gradient, our what we call a baryoclinic zone, which is a temperature gradient, kind of like a cold front. So we're going to see temperatures drop here tonight across the state of Indiana. We're going to see a split slate tomorrow north of I-70. A lot of us will be in the 50s and 40s, and even some 30s near Lake Michigan, with 60s and 70s across southern Indiana, and then widespread 70s return by Friday and Thursday across much of Indiana. Melissa says Bluffton sirens ended a while ago now. Good. Abby says the same thing. Good deal. Love to hear that. Yeah. I know that definitely made a lot of people look twice, and wasn't really very cloudy in Bluffton when the sirens started either, based on satellites. So yeah, one of the downsides to all siren counties. They do serve a purpose, though. They do come in handy for widespread severe weather, for outdoor warning sirens during those inclement severe weathers that do impact all counties. But when you have isolated events like that, it can sometimes, unfortunately, be misleading for some towns that aren't included in that warning. So there's kind of one of those that it works when it works, but sometimes there is a downside to it as well. But it's great for those widespread severe weather events. Absolutely. So 2 tornado warnings for northwestern Ohio, Paulding and Defiance County. So 2 tornado warnings for Paulding County. Rain wrap circulation here. Kind of a look. Check out this supercell here in northwest Ohio. This is northern Paulding County and southern Defiance County. Look how it's wrapping around in each other. This is kind of a bookend vortex now. Not quite to the point of an MCV, but it's a bookend vortex where you see that comma head shape to it, like right in here, kind of a question mark, kind of a curly Q there with the embedded rotation sitting just west of Defiance. We can also see these inflow notches on the north side of the storm here where it's kind of occluded. It's isolated itself with strong straight line winds. This hollow area right in here is what we call a rear inflow jet, which stands for, basically a rear inflow jet, which is essentially strong straight line winds being funneled down, being pulled down to the ground in the form of 60 to perhaps 70 mile per hour winds right in there, right on US 24, heading towards Defiance. So a very nasty storm in the Paulding, Defiance County area, with also some rotation near Payne, Ohio as well, near 114, if you have any friends in Northwest Ohio. Back in here in Indiana, not a lot to write home about at this point in time, which is good. Our storms have weakened quite a bit. Still have some heavy rains, some showers and thunderstorms. Let's go ahead and turn on our updraft here, our VIL, just to get a look to see what our updrafts are doing here across the state. Not much to write home about. Maybe some pea-sized hail back here. If anybody's watching from the Warsaw area, Albion, Indiana, let me know what these storms are doing up in here. I'd love to know what some of these cores are doing. Based on radar, looks like maybe some peas in the core, but not a lot to write home about. So we can't quite give the all clear yet, but we're close. I think once we lose the sun, we'll see these storms start to wane a little bit in terms of their ceiling potential and severe weather potential overall. Our severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled, so we are all clear now across the state of Indiana, which is great. So we currently have no active warnings here in the state of Indiana. All warnings have been allowed to be canceled or expired across Indiana. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until midnight tonight. I'll go ahead and toggle that on here just to show you what counties are included in that. Go ahead and toggle that on here. You'll see that show up here in pink. There we go. So if you're in the pink boxes here, you are in that severe thunderstorm watch until midnight. LaPorte, Lafayette, Marion, Kokomo, Adams, Wells County, all the way up to the Angola area under that severe thunderstorm watch until midnight tonight. We'll likely see this severe thunderstorm watch get trimmed back. I do think this round right here is the main event. After this clears the area, showers and thunderstorms will likely build on the backside as our frontal zone shifts south. But in terms of severe weather potential and maximum severe weather potential, we'll likely see that start to decrease a little bit as we head into the overnight hours and we lose our daytime heating. This was only possible because our earlier round of showers and storms were able to move out quick enough and we were able to get some sunshine and rebuild some of that instability that our earlier showers and storms gobbled up. It was really conditional this afternoon. We really weren't sure if we were going to have enough time to destabilize to allow this to happen. If our early morning storms hadn't have developed and held off, this round would have likely been a lot stronger than what it was now. We had some models last night were forecasting double the instability, which would have been a lot more fuel. So you can kind of thank our earlier round for kind of capping this event or limiting this event to what it could have been. Could have been a lot bigger, not like an outbreak, so to speak, but we could have had a lot more severe weather today if it wasn't for that earlier event, which is good. Scott says Fort Wayne had some awesome clouds. Yeah, likely, probably a lot of people were sending in photos of what we call whale's mouth, which is essentially a shelf cloud or a gust front. But underneath that shelf cloud, there's a gap between the gust front and the rain. And underneath of that, it's really billowing. You see a lot of turbulence, some rolling motion, and sometimes some eddies underneath of there as well. Typically, they're not tornadic in nature, but they can spin a little bit, but they're not tornadic. A lot of that is just turbulence, just that billowing nature of the turbulence that's often hidden. That feature is there behind almost every shelf cloud, but a lot of times we just can't see it because the rain follows immediately after the shelf cloud. But when they're extended like that, you get kind of a unique view of the mechanics behind a shelf cloud where you have rain-cooled air mixing below warm, unstable air lifting up into the shelf cloud. And when it's extended, you can see that turbulence, that rolling pin motion underneath. And it really is mesmerizing to watch if you're able to do so safely. That's one of my favorite cloud features personally. Yeah, Wabash, Indiana, you're good for now. In fact, if you're really outside of this zone here, your severe weather threat, I think, is decreasing. We'll have to keep an eye on these storms here, but for right now, they are, maintaining themselves. They're just garden variety thunderstorms, heavy rain, lightning, maybe some hail up to peas, but they're well below severe criteria at this point in time. The strongest section of the storm is over here in Northwest Ohio, and that has moved off into our east, into our neighbors in Northwest Ohio, which is good news. Our instability. So what allowed us to get thunderstorms now is that our daytime instability was able to be gained because the sun came out. We had some clearing behind our earlier showers and thunderstorms that allowed the air to warm, that air parcels to rise and cool with ascent, and that formed our cumulonimbus clouds, which turned into thunderstorms, right? And so having that daytime heating component really allowed us to build back our instability that was lost earlier today. But now It's 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We really only have about an hour and a half, 2 hours of daylight left. But in terms of daytime heating, we're even more limited than that. We're about at an hour or so before we start seeing the other side. We're losing instability faster than what the atmosphere can make it, especially early season events like this. We're in March, or I guess, yeah, still March. Tomorrow's April. But during these early season events, it's hard to keep instability going overnight. We're really dependent on daytime heating this time of year, especially for earliest season events here in the upper Midwest and lower Great Lakes region. So overnight tonight, we don't really have the forcing to allow for severe weather to persist like we had here this afternoon. But a strong storm can't be ruled out overnight tonight, but widespread severe weather, I don't think is expected. But we could have some isolated storms. The main threats here overnight tonight are going to be hail, peas up to quarters, and heavy rain, as well as lightning. Lots of lightning within these storms, but the strongest section of these storms, I believe, is over. The worst of it should be over. I don't think we'll see any considerable severe weather with these storms here. Some of them could go severe, perhaps, but I think they'll be short-lived in duration, which is good news. Yeah, March is just like I said last year. We had this time we had some pretty bad storms coming through back from our vacation from Philadelphia. Yeah, March is typically pretty active across the Midwest and in Indiana. Our tornado season, our peak severe weather season runs from March through June, which is also our peak tornado season here in Indiana, March through June. In fact, 3 years ago tonight, we were in a moderate risk and we were having a tornado outbreak. We had over 25 tornadoes in one evening 3 years ago tonight, March 31st, 2021, I think it was. That was a very impactful night across the entire state of Indiana. We had a monster, what we call a QLCS, quasi-linear convective system moving across the state associated with a very potent cold front. But that one, unlike tonight, we were able to keep instability going overnight, which supported severe weather that we don't have tonight. So a little bit different mechanics on that scenario than we have today, 3 years ago, or 3 years ago compared to today. Thankfully, that is not the case today. We don't want to see anything that big all the time, which is good. So, but probably going to hop off here soon. We just want to keep an eye on a couple of these storms here to make sure they behave themselves before we do. Tornado warning still in effect for Paulding, Defiance County, Ohio. So if you have any friends in the Defiance area, probably getting hit right now with some heavy rain, gusty winds, and perhaps a tornado or so. These are both radar indicated, by the way, but something to keep an eye on as well. Severe thunderstorm watch for all areas in pink here. Wouldn't be surprised to see that trim back. They may let it go just a little bit as we watch trends on these storms here. Still a little bit of instability out ahead of it. But we are waning quite a bit, which is some good news here as well. Biggest threat here overnight tonight is going to be some gusty winds here. We do have some wind reports now coming in from the north side of Fort Wayne. This one here is just on the northeast side of Coliseum, kind of right in, looks like south of the Grable area. We have a measured gust of 61 miles per hour from earlier. That was via amateur radio, ham radio operator reported that one, as well as 60 mile per hour, also by ham radio on the northwest side of Fort Wayne, near the Huntertown area. So definitely some gusty winds came through town as well. But no new storm reports anywhere across the state of Indiana from any of the storms that are ongoing currently, which is good news. But we should be starting to see a downtrend within our storms here as well. Pea-size hail in Claypool. Thank you for that. Not surprised to see that. Could have kind of right in here in the core there a little bit. Could have. I think that's going to be the main story of the night here within some of these storms is really pea-sized hail and heavy rain from here on out. Um, can't give the all clear yet. We do still have some strong storms in the area, but the risk for widespread severe weather should be starting to wane a little bit, especially as the sun goes down and our atmosphere stabilizes a little bit. It won't stabilize enough to where we won't have rain or storms in the area, but our risk for widespread severe weather should be going down quite a bit, which is some good news. But do watch out for any ponding and hydroplaning on area roadways. We could have torrential rainfall occurring with quite a few of these storms as well. So, with that being said, we're going to probably hop off here. We're going to head and watch trends here behind the scenes. I do think the worst of our severe weather here this evening is over. The worst of it now in northwest Ohio from Paulding County and Defiance County and eastward. But we're going to have to keep an eye on these storms off to the west. Currently, they are behaving themselves, but if any of them come back with a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, we'll hop back on and we'll cover that here live. So, with that being said, thank you for tuning in for our severe weather coverage here in Indiana. We'll keep you covered and we'll continue to watch things here behind the streams. Widespread severe weather not expected here the rest of tonight, but we could have an occasional strong to severe thunderstorm. Can't be ruled out, but I do believe they will be short lived in nature. So, with that being said, going to hop off here and we'll continue to monitor things here behind the scenes. So, have a pleasant evening and have a happy Easter if we don't see you before then.